So what is CMOS processing or CMOS fabrication? That means you make one mask layout, then you want to convert that mask layout into a physical IC. How you are going to do that? That is the process called CMOS fabrication, or this process sometimes called lithography. Where is that? Yeah, lithography. Sometimes this process is called lithography. Okay, so what is this actually? Here, this is the CMOS. This is one CMOS. In this side is your NMOS. This side is your PMOS. Okay, and they are built one single what? One single body. That's why they are called complementary MOSFET, complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Okay, by which process it is made is called lithography. Lithography is a process. Okay, the process used to transfer a pattern. What pattern? The pattern we made in lab number 4, lab number 5, lab number 6. Remember? We make some designs. Hello? We made some design, okay, using our microwind. That is called mask layout. That layout we need to transfer on a chip. This process is called lithography. The sequence starts with a thermal oxidation of the silicon surface, by which an oxide layer of about 1 micrometer, that is 100 nanometer, 1000 nanometer thickness, for example, is created on substrate CB, that means this one. Okay, let me describe the picture. At first, you need to take one substrate, silicon substrate, Si substrate. Okay, substrate means a block, a piece of silicon. You have to take it. Then on top of that, you need to apply. On top of that, you need to apply. Okay, wait a second. On top of that, you need to apply a layer of silicon dioxide. What is the thickness? 1 micrometer, for example. Then what? Then you need to apply another layer that is called photoresist. Photoresist. This is an acid resistance organic polymer. Initially insoluble. Initially means first. At first, it does not resolve into the acid. It is acid resistance. But after that, you can do something. After that, the resistivity of acid will go. That means at the beginning, it do not affect it, or it is not affected by the acid. But after you do some work, then the acid will work. At first, it is acid resistance. Then you do some work. What is that work? That work is UV light. At first, it is not affected by acid. That means it is acid resistance. Once you give some UV light, it loses its power. That time, acid can what? Acid can penetrate this. Penetrate means acid can damage this one. At first, acid do not damage it. When you give some UV light, it loses its power. Then acid can damage it. Okay, a layer of photoresist is given on top of the silicon dioxide. Then you will give, bring one glass, a glass, 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 you know, glass, a piece of glass. Under the glass, there is our mask layout. Can you see some black lining here? That is our mask layout. That is our mask. That is our design that we made in our lab number 4, 5, and 6. Then you give some UV light. In some places, we have our mask layout. There, our UV light will not pass. But in some places, we do not have any mask layout. There, our UV light will pass. Understood my point? This is a glass, transparent glass. But under the transparent glass, there are some stickers. Stickers means our mask layout, the layout we have made, some sort of sticker. So we'll put some sticker there. Where there are some stickers, the UV light will not pass, because the sticker will block it. Where there is no sticker, that means that is opaque. Opaque means transparent. There the UV light will pass and hit the photoresist. Understood my point, everyone? Hello? Understood? You have to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So there a UV light will pass, and UV light will damage only that part of the photoresist. That part is damaged. The others are remain. Others are okay. Now what? After that, what you do? Go to the next page. After that, what you do? You remove the glass, give some chemical each called hydrofluoric acid, HF acid. What will happen? What will happen? The silicon dioxide will be what? Will be gone. Because of that acid. Because of that acid, the silicon dioxide will be gone. Why? Because that acid only works, only affects silicon dioxide, not silicon. It will only affect the silicon dioxide, but not silicon, not photoresist. So here you have a empty space because we have given some UV light before. So what happens here? These become clear, these become clean. Now you give some hydrofluoric acid. The silicon dioxide will be gone like this, but others remain, right? Because why? Because this hydrofluoric acid cannot touch this part. This hydrofluoric acid cannot touch this part because of this photoresist. But this hydrofluoric acid can what? Can remove this. Okay, got my point? So this is how what happens. This is how we actually create a pond. P-O-N-D, pond. We actually create a pond. There we give some what? We give some N-type material, N-type doping. That doping will be absorbed, and this will become N plus. This will be absorbed. After it become absorbed, what happens? Then you give some more hydrofluoric acid. Oh no, at first you have to give UV first. Give UV, then you give hydrofluoric acid, everything will be gone. Now you are left with a piece of substrate with a N well or N pond like this. Then you do what? Then you again you apply silicon dioxide layer, you apply photoresist, you give another mask layout, then you give UV light again. What happened? This part will be damaged. You give hydrofluoric acid, then another pond will be gone, another pond will form, then you give some. So this process will be continued for some cycles unless you are finished with your design. See, like this. Let's see this. At first, this is your substrate. You give a silicon dioxide layer. On top of the silicon dioxide layer, you have to give a photoresist. On top of the photoresist, you have to give a mask layout and give UV ray. So what happened? This part is damaged. Then you give some hydrofluoric acid. This silicon part will be damaged as well. So it is empty. Now you give all UV ray. That means no mask layout, only the UV ray. So the all photoresist will be gone. Now you give some N doping. So that N doping will be absorbed by the P substrate. So like this is called N well. Now, since your N well is formed, so you no longer need the silicon dioxide layer. So you give some hydrofluoric acid, all the silicon dioxide layer will be gone. So this you are left with these. Now what? Now you have to apply a silicon dioxide layer here again. Then what? Then you have to give a photoresist like this again. Then what? Then you have to give a mask layout. Then you have to give a UV ray. Then after the UV ray, what happens? After the UV ray, let's say this part is gone. Okay. Then you give some what? Then you give some hydrofluoric acid. Then what will happen? This part will be gone. Okay, like this, something like this. Okay, this part will be gone. Now what? Now you no longer need this photoresist because that purpose is gone. The purpose is done already. It has done its work. So you give some UV ray. What happens? All the photoresist will be gone. Got my point? Then what? Then you give some more material, whatever the material you want to apply here. Whatever the material you want to apply here, you give the material. After giving the material, when it is done, you what? You give some hydrofluoric acid. The all silicon dioxide layer will be gone. Understood? So this is done. Again, if you need to do something more, you take it, you give a silicon dioxide layer again, like this. Then what? Then you give a photoresist again. Then what? And then you give a mask layout. Then you give some UV. After giving the UV, what will happen? Let's say you have a box like this, 2 boxes. There you give some UV because mask layout do not have anything here. Now what? Now you give some hydrofluoric acid. After you giving some hydrofluoric acid, what will happen? So it will etch the silicon dioxide. After that, when you are done, what is that? The photoresist has done its work. You remove it by using more UV. Then what happened? Now you give what? Now you give let's say P-type material. After giving the P-type material, this part will be absorbed. This part will be absorbed. Okay, so this is P-type. This is P-type. After that, what happened? Once this is done, you give some more hydrofluoric acid. It will be gone. Now you are ready for the next step. Again, this process will be repeated for several times, unless you got something like this. You got something like this. Understood? So this is done in several steps. So see, at first NOL is done. Then the P plus, the N plus, the N plus, the N plus N plus is done. This N plus is done. Then P plus, P plus, P plus is done. Understood? So same type of material will be done at once. Different type of material will be done at different stages. So once you are happy with your design, then you can stop. Then you can give some polysilicon, the metal, everything else. Got my point? So this process is okay. By the way, this is our mask layout. This is our what? This is our mask layout. This mask layout is separated in different what? Different layer. This is one layer. This is metal layer. This is N diffusion layer. This is P diffusion layer. This is contact layer. This is our metal layer. Understood? In different layer, they are what? They are separated. So first NOL, polysilicon, N diffusion, P diffusion, contact, metal. Remember the design we have made? That can be what? That can be separated in different layers, and every layer forms a different mask layout, different glass layout. There you will give some UV ray. So what will happen? This area will be gone, so you can put something there. Understood, everyone? Okay, let me show you the okay, wait a second. Let me show you the software. Okay, system, Foundry, 19 nano. Okay, let me design something at first. So not counting anything. Okay, I'm not counting anything. I'm just designing, just like that. I'm not counting anything. Remember, I told you. So N plus will be here. N plus is here. P plus is here. So we're going to give here I'm going to give the ground here. Our N well will be this one. Our metal one will be this one. Okay, fine, no problem. This is our input. Okay, no problem. This is our output. That's okay. This is our BD. So more or less our design is completed. Okay, this is a not gate, but I didn't count anything. What I am going to show you, I'm going to show you the 3D representation. Here, this is our substrate, normal substrate. So at first we have to take the substrate, then you will give some, after masking, after the lithography, we created one N diffusion. Then we created a silicon dioxide layer. Then see, can you see that? So it is done layer by layer. Can you see that, everyone? It is done layer by layer. After layer, we got something like this. Understood? So you actually can separate layer by layer. Okay? Got it or not? Hello? I believe you got it. So this is our lithography process. I can ask you what is lithography process, and you explain. There are some more things to study. So number one is not this one. This is a typical lithography process. Do not use these. Okay, use these and explain, or use these and explain, something like that. So oxidation, obviously silicon dioxide, that is called oxidation. That means this layer. That means this layer, silicon dioxide. This is called oxidation layer. This layer is this one, oxidation. How can you do some silicon dioxide oxidation layer? This is the substrate. This is the deposited film. This is the boundary layer and diffusion of the reactant. So this is the oxidation layer. This is the etching. What is etching? Etching called giving the mask layout, giving the UV, giving the hydrofluoric acid, and taking out some substrate. So that is called etching. The whole process is called etching. Okay. At first you need to etch by using UV light. Then you need to etch what? Then you need to etch using hydrofluoric acid. Then you need to etch again the silicon UV light again. So this is how you are getting your material from here. Okay, the whole process is called etching. Diffusion. Diffusion means after what? I told you, after etching, what do you do? After etching, you need to give some material so that will be absorbed. I told you, right? So you need to give some material so that will be absorbed. So the N well will be formed. This process is called diffusion. And ion implantation means you need to increase the number of ions, right? Because you can see here, this is called N plus, this is called P plus. This is called P plus, N plus, N plus, P plus, P plus, N plus. This is N. These N plus and N, they are not same, because N plus has more ions, N has less ion. So there is a difference between ions in same material. So this is called ion implantation. And annealing, you do not have to think about that. Okay. So this is actually all theory. So you do not have to give a lot of attention. You just know what is this. Okay. Now we are going to go to our RC delay. The RC delay math. So this is a huge math, but let's see how far we can go. A 2-input NAND gate is driving a 2-input NOR gate and an inverter as given in the figure below. So you have a what? You have a NAND gate, you have a NOR gate, you have a NOT gate. So this NAND gate is driving this NOR gate and this NOT gate. What you have to do? You have to find the rise delay for A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1, and you have to find the fall delay for A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1 for this NAND gate, only for NAND gate. Okay, you have to find the rise delay and fall delay. What do I mean by that? See, for NAND gate, if I give 0 0, what is my input? What is my output? 1. Right? For 0 1, output is 1. For 1 0, output is 1. For 1 1, output is 0. So when the fall delay occur, when your output goes 1 to 0, so that is your fall delay. That's why when your input become 1 1, that time your output becomes 0, right? 0 means it is going to the 0. So that time the fall delay will occur. That's why they have said fall delay for 1 1. And when you get rise delay, when your output was 0, suddenly it become 1, right? From 0 to 1. When it become 1, this become 1 here, this become 1 here, this become 1 here. That means if you go from 1 1 to 1 0, it become 1. If you go to 1 1 to 0 1, it become 1. That time you might have rise delay. So they have given you the condition. For 0 1, you have to find the rise delay. For 1 1, you have to find the fall delay. So before going into the solution, we need to see the CMOS representation of our gate. What gate? Every one of them. So this is the CMOS representation. CMOS, that means PMOS and NMOS. You already know it, right? You already know how to design this. So after that, you have to do some sizing. So this is 2 2 2 2. This is 4 4 1 1. This is 2 1. You already know it. This is your A. So this is connected here. This is your B. This is connected here. This output is Y. So the Y should be connected to Y, this point. And X is a different input from somewhere else. So the Y is going to one input, one PMOS and one NMOS. X is coming from somewhere else, one PMOS, one NMOS. This Y is also going to the NOT gate. So PMOS and NMOS. So see, this Y is going to the NOT gate. That means PMOS and NMOS, something like that. So this is your CMOS level design. That means CMOS logic design. Now we will be going to equivalent circuit. Now look at this. This is the equivalent circuit of PMOS. Remember this, don't forget. This is the equivalent. Take a screenshot if you want to. This is the equivalent circuit of what? PMOS. At first you have a resistor, then you have a switch, then you have 3 capacitors. One is connected to drain, one is connected to the source. Okay, I forgot. This is PMOS, so this should be drain. And this should be source. So there is a mistake. Okay? No. This is the NMOS. What I am doing? This is the NMOS. Sorry, this is the NMOS. That's why this is drain. It's all right. There is no mistake. This is drain. This is source. So one capacitor is going down to the ground. That is KC. What is K? K is the sizing. Resistor is R by K. What is K? K is sizing. If it is 2, so R by 2. If it is 2, so 2C. If it is 1, so R by 1. Something like that. This is gate capacitance. This is not connected. This is not connected to our drain to source line. This is not connected. You can see this is not connected. This is disconnected. You can see it is disconnected. So where it is connected? It is connected to the previous circuit. It is connected to the previous circuit, not this circuit. It is connected to the previous circuit. And you have another source capacitance that is connected to the ground KC. So resistor, capacitor, 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 switch. R by K, KC, KC, KC. Okay. So you already know it. This is the NMOS. Now go to the PMOS side. This is the equivalent circuit of PMOS. Okay. Again, no, not this one. What? I zoomed in so much. This one. This is the equivalent circuit of PMOS. Okay. Here you can see the source is upper. Here is drain, and here is our gate. Every one of them is not going to the ground. Previously, all the capacitor was going to the ground, but since PMOS do not have any ground, PMOS is connected to the source, to the VDD. That's why every capacitor is going to the VDD. capacitor going to the VDD, VDD, VDD. Here, every one of them is KC, KC, KC. But resistor is double. Why resistor is double? Because I told you before, PMOS, the electrons are slower. That means the holes are slower, right? That's why it needs more time to reach. That's why the size should be double. So here, that's why the resistivity is double, because the primary medium is not electron, it is hole. Got my point? That's why it is 2R by K. 2R by K. So Kc, 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 2R by K. So since we have done this, now we can go to the whiteboard to explain. All of you see this. This was our design. This is PMOS. This is PMOS. NMOS. NMOS. These two are A, right? I'm going to call A. A. This is B. This is B, right? And this is our Y. Sizing is what? 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Now the NOT gate and the NOR gate are not necessary here. I'm not going to draw those because I have already shown you. What is necessary? Because see this one is going to one PMOS and one NMOS, right? I'm not connecting them. This is from NOR gate. This part is from NOR gate. So the sizing was 4 and this sizing was 1. And it is also connected to a NOT gate, right? Although this is connected because this is a NOT gate, nothing else is there. But they are not connected because they have a different big circuit, something like that. So I'm not going to draw the big circuit. This is the NOT gate. This is 2, this is 1. So I'm going to convert the whole circuit into RC delay circuit, right? So at first what? At first I'm going to draw, I'm going to use the red color. I'm going to draw a PMOS construction. So resistor, then you have switch, then you have a capacitor that is connected to, that will go to the VDD. Here you have a capacitor here, you have a capacitor here. So this is the what? This is the PMOS. We have two PMOSes. Here one, here another one. So I'm going to draw the same thing again. This will be VDD. 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 Now they are connected. Why? Because here, can you see they are connected? Okay. Up at the top, you can see they are connected to the VDD. So I'm going to give a VDD here. I'm going to give a VDD here as well because both of them are connected to the VDD. Okay, that's why both of them are VDD, given VDD. Now NMOS, I need to draw the NMOS here. At the bottom, I need to draw the NMOS. Here we have a resistor, then we have a switch, done. This one will go to the ground, this capacitor. Here we have another capacitor, this capacitor will go to the ground. So one PMOS. Here you have a capacitor, gate capacitor, going to the ground. Going to the ground. So here you have another capacitor going to the ground. You have a capacitor. going to the ground, right? Understood? Since see that connection is connected to with our A, so this will be connected with our A. The bottom of the A is connected with the B, so bottom of the A is connected to the B, and the bottom of the B is connected to the ground. So I'm going to connect these with the ground. This is the ground. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is our output. Now here, look very carefully. This capacitor is the gate capacitor. They are not connected with our main circuit, with our output, with our point of output. They are not connected. This one is not connected. Okay. This one is not connected. This one is not connected. So they are actually connected with our previous circuit. Previous circuit means from where these A and B are coming. So I'm going to erase them. I'm going to erase them. Remember, they are connected with the previous circuit. That means we might have some next circuit that has some capacitor that will be added with our circuit, right? Like this NOR gate, because NOR gate has some gate capacitance. NOR gate has a gate capacitance, gate capacitance, gate capacitance, gate capacitance, right? Understood? This one might have a gate capacitance, not might, it will have a gate capacitance that is not connected with the main NOR gate. This one will have a gate capacitance that is not connected with the main NOR gate. Here it will have a gate capacitance that is not connected with the main NOT gate. Here it will have a gate capacitance that is not connected with the main NOT gate. So they will be connected here. They will come and be connected here. So you have a capacitor. You have another capacitor. This is from NOR gate. So first one, this is 4C. Why 4C? Because the sizing is 4. This one is 1C. So just C. So this is 4C. This is just C. For the NOT gate, here you have a connection. I'm going to draw the connection. So here this is 2. So this will be 2C. Because the rest of the circuit we do not need. Only the gate capacitance we need. This is 1C, only C. Now look at this sizing. This sizing is 2, 2, 2, 2. That means everything is 2. So this one is 2R by 2. This one is 2R by 2. This is 2C. 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 This one is R by 2. This one is R by 2. Okay. So now 2R by 2 means only R. So I'm going to erase it. 2R by 2 means R. That's it. So our main circuit is actually done. Now I no longer need these. I'm going to take a screenshot because otherwise I have to draw it again then if I do not take the screenshot. Okay, now look at this. Here they told us our A should be 0, B should be 1 for rise delay, right? So let's connect this. Let's say this is our A, this is our B, this is our A, this is our B. A0 means what? For 0, PMOS is on or off? For 0, PMOS is on or off? Please tell me, please tell me.
The PMOS 0 is on.
Yeah, exactly. PMOS 0 is on. Okay,
Yeah.
Azan is going on. I'm going to take a break. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now. So PMOS is on, right? For 0. On means this is connected and B is equal to 1. That means this is not connected. So I'm going to keep it like this. For 0 NMOS is on or off? Omar.
Hello.
Huh.
There NMOS 0 is off.
Off. The off means it is disconnected. For 1, that means for B, this is B, right? So
Yes, sir.
this is on, right? On
Yes,
means
sir.
they are connected. Now I need to find out what is the connected and not connected element of our circuit. But remember, where is our output point? Our output point is this one, right? Okay, let me draw this. This is our what?
This is output.
This is our output point. So our output point is connected with some material, with some elements. So we need to find out which of them are connected, which of them are not connected. Here, directly you can see this part is not connected, right? This part is not connected, right?
Yes, sir.
So I can erase them. I can erase them. So let me cover them with some white thing. Okay, got my point? This is also. Now these 2C, here you can see this 2C is not connected because this 2C should be eliminated as well. Because what? A 2C, a capacitor that has a VCC at the one end, another VCC. So this capacitor is what? This capacitor is short, right?
Yes, sir.
2 pins are short. One pin is connected to VCC, another pin is also connected to VCC. So this is actually eventually this is short. So this part will be gone. Understood? So I'm going to erase these capacitor as well, like this. Okay. Look at this part. This part is not connected as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have to what?
Erase.
I have to erase them. So I'm going to erase them. This resistor is connected at one end, another end it is floating. So will there be any current here?
No, sir.
No, because in one point it is connected, another point it is not connected. It is open circuit. That's why this resistor will be gone as well.
Okay.
So this is your final circuit that remains. Okay. So this is pretty simple. So I'm going to write what happens. So here you can see you have this capacitor and this capacitor. They are parallel. How do they parallel? How do they become parallel? At one point they have VCC, and another point is what? Connected, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is what? This is parallel. So
Parallel.
can I connect them and can I combine them and call them 4C?
Yes, sir. You can make.
Yeah, I can make them 4C. So you have one resistor here, then you have one capacitor that is called 4C. You have one resistor that is called R. Okay. Now this 4C and these 2C, they are parallel as well. How they are parallel? See, at one point they have VCC, another point is connected, right?
Yes, sir. That's why it's parallel.
They are parallel as well. So I'm going to call them what? I'm going to call them 6C, right? Okay, 6C. This one and this one is 6C. This capacitance, and this capacitance, they are parallel as well. Do you know how?
Connected, sir.
Because one point is grounded. That means they are common. Another point is this one, right?
Yes, sir.
So they are actually parallel. So I'm going to call them what? Let's say call here. So how much? C plus 2C. How much? 4C.
4C.
Now look at this. This 6C and this 4C. They are what?
Parallel.
They are parallel. So can I call them 10C?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to call them
10C.
So here I'm going to erase these, and
10C.
I'm going to write 10C. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this is our output point, right?
Yes, sir. Why?
Now this capacitor and this capacitor, they are parallel or they are series?
It's parallel, sir.
How they are parallel, how they are series? They
They're
are not,
connected.
they are not definitely series, because if they are series, there should not be any branches, right?
Yes, sir.
So this branch is making the problem. So they are not series. This is definitely sure. But they can be parallel if the power is 0. If you give 0 volt, that means if the system is powered off, you can give 0 volt. Here, this is also 0 volt, right?
Yes, sir. It will be serious.
So they are what? They are same point, and another point is connected. So this is parallel. So we can call them what? We can call them parallel. So if
Parallel.
they are parallel, so what is the combined capacitance?
14C.
14C. And you have one resistor. So resistor will be multiplied. So how much?
14 RC.
Why resistor is multiplied? Because if you multiply ohm and if you multiply farad, what is the thing you are getting? You are getting second. You're getting what?
Second.
Okay, this is called the rise delay. Okay, I'm going to call this rise delay. This is our rise delay. Remember, you need to come up to this point to calculate the rise delay. Otherwise, if you do not make them short, you cannot what? You cannot calculate this. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to apply. I'm going to calculate the fall delay. Before that, let's select everything. Okay, this is our previous circuit, right? Now we have to know the fall delay. That means A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1. Understood? So for 1, PMOS is what? Off. PMOS is off. NMOS is on. NMOS is on. Both of them are on because both of them are 1. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what? Now I need to delete this part because this is not connected. These resistor capacitor are not connected, so I'm going to delete them. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I need to delete this capacitor as well. Why? Because the capacitor is short. At one point it has ground, and another point it has ground. So this capacitor is short, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to short it. So anything else? Nothing. So we have our circuit. We have our circuit. I'm going to make them a bit beautiful, like this. Now what? Now we need to make them combined. So how to make them combined? These 2C, these 2C, these 2C, these 4C, and these 2C. They are what?
6.
They are parallel, right? They
Yes,
are parallel.
sir.
So at one point they have VDD, 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 VDD. At another point they are all connected to the output point. So they are what? They are parallel. So I can call them how much? 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus 4, 8. 8 plus 2,
10.
10C. I can call them 10C. Okay, now this is done. Now what? Now look at this. These 2C, these C, these C, they are what? They are parallel as well. Understood? Because one point is grounded, grounded, grounded. Another point is output, output, output. Okay? So they are what? They are parallel. So I can call them 2C plus C plus C, 4C.
4C.
Okay. After that, we have a resistor. Can you see that? After that, we have a resistor. Can you see that? After that point, we have a resistor. So I'm going to draw the resistor. This is our output point, remember. After that, we have a resistor. What is the value of the resistor? R by 2. Then what? Then we have two capacitors. One is this one. Another one is
4C.
They are 4C because not series. They are parallel.
Oh.
They are parallel. So they are 4C. So I'm going to call 4C. Then what? Then we have another resistor, right?
Yes, sir.
Then we have what? We have ground. This resistor is called R by 2. Now the problem is here we can actually call these two capacitor 14C, right? Because they can be parallel, but they are not series. They are definitely not series, but they can be parallel. So that's why we can call them what?
14C.
We can call them 14C. This is our output point. This is our output point. Now, what will be the combination of these circuit? So, can you make them parallel, 14C and 4C? Can you make them addition? Can you add them?
Yes, sir. We can make
No,
parallel.
no, you cannot make them parallel because there is a resistor in between. So they are not parallel. Okay. Can you make the resistor series? No, they are not series either because there is a capacitor at the middle. So capacitors are not parallel because there is a resistor at the middle. Resistors are not series because there is a capacitor in the middle. So this is a problem. So this problem cannot be solved by using normal law, normal rules. You cannot solve it. Trust me, you cannot solve it. Okay, there are no possible solution of this case. So here the only possible solution is called Elmore delay calculation rule. What?
L.
E-L-M-O-R-E. This is a scientist name, Elmore or Elmore. Someone called Elmore, someone called Elmore. It doesn't matter. Elmore delay rule. If you face a problem like this, resistors are not series because there is a capacitor. Capacitors are not parallel because there is a resistor. If you face something like this, you can use Elmore delay rule. By using Elmore delay rule, the fall delay will be what? Will be see how I calculate this. Resistor into capacitor. So R by 2 into 4C plus resistor into capacitor. R by 2 plus R by 2 into capacitor into 14C. Got my point? Again, resistor into capacitor plus resistor into this capacitor. Okay? Okay, everyone? So
Yes, sir.
what we got? So 2C and 4C, this will be 2C. So 2RC. Here you got 2RC. Here you got what? R by 2 become R. And you have 14C. So 14RC actually. So 14RC plus 2RC become what?
16.
16RC. Understood? So how I calculate the fall delay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me show you another Elmore delay rule. Okay. Let's say this is our output point. This is R. This is 2R. This is 3R. This is C. 2C. 3C. What will be the delay? The calculation will be like this. R into C. That means these are this C. Understood? Plus R plus 2R. Bracket into 2C. Plus R plus 2R plus 3R. Into 3C. You got the law? Hello? You got the law?
Yes, sir.
So R into C, R plus 2R into 2C, R plus 2R plus 3R into 3C. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So this is the Elmore delay rule. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this was actually the lecture for today. I'm going to stop the recording.